North America is the third largest continent in the world, ranking behind Asia and Africa, the first and second biggest continents, respectively. North America is contained entirely within the northern and western hemispheres. It is surrounded by three of the largest oceans in the world, namely the Atlantic, Arctic, and Pacific Oceans. North America is divided into four major geographical regions: the West, including much of Texas, the Rocky Mountains, Alaska, and California; the South, Florida and the Appalachian Mountains; the Great Plains, Canadian and Central American prairies, and the Canadian Shield. Canada is the largest nation in North America, followed by the USA, Greenland, and Mexico. Central America is made up of 7 countries, namely, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Panama. Although Central America is a land bridge between North and South America, technically it is part of North America. This chapter presents the geographical locations, culture, and tourist attractions of the countries in North and Central America. At the end of this chapter, the students will be able to identify countries found in North and Central America. Name the national facts and information of each country, state, and territories. North America, the third largest continent, extends from the tiny Aleutian Islands in the northwest to the Isthmus of Panama in the south. The continent includes the enormous island of Greenland in the northeast and the small island countries and territories that dot the Caribbean Sea and western North Atlantic Ocean. In the far north, the continent stretches halfway around the world, from Greenland to the Aleutians. North America is composed of 23 countries and 9 dependent territories. The largest country is Canada, while the smallest country is St. Kitts and Nevis. The widely spoken languages in the continent are English, Spanish, French. Mount McKinley is the highest peak and the longest river is the Missouri River. North America, the third largest continent, extends from the tiny Aleutian Islands in the northwest to the Isthmus of Panama in the south. The continent includes the enormous island of Greenland in the northeast and the small island countries and territories that dot the Caribbean Sea and western North Atlantic Ocean. In the far north, the continent stretches halfway around the world, from Greenland to the Aleutians. North America is the northern part of the landmass generally referred to as the New World, the Western Hemisphere, or simply the Americas. North America and South America are named after Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci. Vespucci was the first European to suggest that the Americas were not part of the East Indies, but an entirely separate landmass. The portions of the landmass that widened out north of the Isthmus of Panama became known as North America. North America can be divided into 5 physical regions: the mountainous West, the Great Plains, the Canadian Shield, the varied Eastern region, and the Caribbean. Mexico and Central America's western coast are connected to the mountainous West, while its lowlands and coastal plains extend into the eastern region. Within these regions are all the major types of biomes in the world. A biome is a community of animals and plants spreading over an extensive area with a relatively uniform climate. Some diverse biomes represented in North America include desert, grassland, tundra, and coral reefs. The western region. Young mountains rise in the west. The most familiar of these mountains are probably the Rockies, North America's largest chain. The Rockies stretch from the province of British Columbia, Canada, to the U.S. state of New Mexico. The Rocky Mountains are part of a system of parallel mountain ranges known as the Cordilleras. A cordillera is a long series of mountain ranges. The Cordilleras extend from Canada all the way to the Isthmus of Panama. The Sierra Madre mountain system is part of the Cordilleras. The Sierra Madre stretch from the southwestern United States to Honduras. The Sierra Madre include many high volcanoes that stretch across Mexico south of the cities of Guadalajara and Mexico City. Volcanic mountain ranges in Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama are also considered part of the Cordilleras. Volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur frequently in this region. Some of the Earth's youngest mountains are in the Cascade Range of the U.S. states of Washington, Oregon, and California. The temperate rainforest supports a wide variety of life. The Sitka spruce, western red cedar, and Douglas fir are trees native to North America's temperate rainforest. Black bears, Roosevelt elk, and marmots are indigenous animal species. The three major desert regions of North America, the Sonoran, Mojave, and Chihuahuan, are all in the American Southwest and northern Mexico. These large deserts are located in the rain shadows of nearby mountains. The mountains block precipitation and accelerate the movement of hot, dry wind over these regions. In addition to mountains, deserts, and forests, the northern part of the western region of North America also has the richest deposits of oil and natural gas on the continent. Most of these deposits are located offshore, in the Arctic and Pacific Oceans. The Great Plains lie in the middle of the continent. Deep, rich soil blankets large areas of the plains in Canada and the United States. Grain grown in this region, called the breadbasket of North America, feeds a large part of the world. The Great Plains are also home to rich deposits of oil and natural gas. The Canadian Shield is a raised but relatively flat plateau. It extends over eastern, central, and northwestern Canada. The Canadian Shield is characterized by a rocky landscape pocked by an astounding number of lakes. The eastern region includes the Appalachian Mountains and the Atlantic Coastal Plain. North America's older mountain ranges, including the Appalachians, rise near the east coast of the United States and Canada. These areas have been mined for rich deposits of coal and other minerals for hundreds of years. The Caribbean region includes more than 7,000 islands, islets, reefs, and cays. The region's islands and smaller islets are varied in their topography. Some have relatively flat and sandy terrain while others are rugged, mountainous, and volcanic. North America's human landscape closely mirrors that of its physical environment, varied, rich, and constantly changing. From their beginnings to the present day, the peoples of North America have worked with and against their surroundings in order to survive and prosper. Indigenous cultures shaped, and were shaped by, the geography of North America. The first North Americans are believed to have migrated from Siberia, in Northeast Asia, by crossing a land bridge over the Bering Strait. These populations fanned out southward, to present-day Florida, California, Mexico, and Central America. Many of these early North American cultures were scientifically and agriculturally advanced. Cultures throughout southern North America harvested corn, squash, and beans in regular cycles. This sort of agriculture allowed major civilizations to develop. People were no longer bound to produce food and shelter for their families. Some people could work in the food and construction industries while others became engineers, artists, and political leaders. The environment also impacted the traditional beliefs and social structure of North American indigenous communities. By respecting the ecosystem, the living and non-living things in an environment, Inuit communities aim to maintain a balanced existence. Central America comprises the countries located between Mexico and South America. There are 7 countries under this region, namely, Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. The Caribbean is a region of the Americas, consisting of the Caribbean Sea, its islands, and the coasts around it. The region is located southeast of the Gulf of Mexico and the North American mainland, east of Central America, and north of South America. It has been said that the regions were discovered by Christopher Columbus during the 14th century. The Caribbean is known for its blue oceans and seas, white sand beaches, and sunny weather. It is one of the world's top yachting resorts, offering diversity, warm weather and great scenery. The many small islands and relatively calm sailing waters make this region a great place to explore by sea. The languages spoken are varied and consist of English, Spanish, French, Dutch, Papiamento, and Creole. It is a diverse region, as most islands were ruled by countries such as France, United Kingdom, Spain, USA, and the Netherlands. Here are the different countries, capitals, people and flags of North and Central America. Ottawa, located on the Ottawa River, was chosen as the capital of Canada in 1857 by Queen Victoria, the great-great-grandmother of Queen Elizabeth II. Canada is an officially bilingual country, with two official languages, French and English. In practice, however, the majority of Canadians speak English, with progressively smaller numbers speaking English and French, English and some other language, or only French. The maple leaf has been a recognizable and important symbol for Canada for over 300 years. It has been used to symbolize Canada, the land and its people. It is also used in the coat of arms and the flags of the Canadian Armed Forces. Canada's national colors have a deep foundation in history. The colors, red and white, can be traced back through France and England. The heraldic description is, gules, red, on a Canadian pale argent, white, a maple leaf of the first. Canadians didn't just spring from the soil. Aside from a small community of Aboriginals who migrated to North America more than 12,000 years ago, everyone who lives in Canada is descended from relatively recent immigrants who left their native homelands to eke out a better living in North America. About 80% of Canadians are of European background, more commonly called Caucasians or whites, with the remaining 20% a diverse mix of literally every other race on Earth.